Hello there, Soaring Eagle fans. Today's a little bit of a maintenance day on our boat here. Gonna do some lubing of the axles there. When I bought it, it's about 4 years old, and he said he'd never lubed it, but it hadn't driven many miles, so I'm gonna do that. And also see if I can do a little bit of work on this hitch and move that back about 3 feet today. So that's a project today. So follow along. I'll take some video, just doing a little bit of quick maintenance on there. I'm told there's a grease nipple right inside there. Just pop this rubber cap off, they say, and should be able to grease it. I brought along some axle grease, and maybe leave information in the link below if you know what's the best axle grease. But I just purchased some here not too long back, and I'm just going to show you the little gun. It's not like I have to do a lot of greasing, so I didn't need a great big huge. Let's just have a look here. So bought a little gun like this at Canadian Tire called Motor Master. So it's just a little gun, and you throw these little tubes in there, and red and tacky grease for all lubes, all kinds of products and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm going to give that a shot. If you scream at me on the video here like, oh, I don't use that, that's crap, it'll burn your bearings out, let me know. Anyway, that's what I'm going to work with today, and we'll see if we can't get it lubed up. It's probably going to be more work getting through these plastic package here, getting the equipment out, than it is actually lubing it, but we'll soon find out. See how this thing works. Nice little chrome luber. Okay. And got a little rod in here. Where the heck does that go on? What's the idea? Okay. So it looks like I have to get myself a little Allen wrench and get this out, and then this will screw in there. And this will go into the grease nipple on the trailer. Let's see, I've got one of these that looks like it's leaked a little bit, but we'll just open that up. Let's take this nice looking one here. The other ones are getting a little bit greasy looking, but we'll get this one here. Okay, there's some axle looking grease in there on that side. Okay, I might have to read some instructions on this. Interesting. Okay, after searching through some of the different wrench kits here, got this one. Looks like it's a standard 5/32 nut there, and this should fit right onto there. And notice this unscrews over here. At first I thought I'd pull this plunger out. It's the first time I've used this. Of course there's instructions here, and haven't read them yet. Typical male. Anyway, how is this gonna work on here? It's gonna drive through there. Wow. You know what? Before I make a great big messy glue, there's a rubber gasket inside there. This peels off, and you can see the grease inside, and then we got this end over here. And I'm not sure if you need to peel that off, so I better read some instructions here. Okay, read through the instructions here a little bit. Kind of self-explanatory there. So what you do is you pull this right back, and then you lock the shaft in there. You push it off to the side and lock it over, and then take this plastic cap off and insert it into the grease gun and slide it all the way in until it's flush on there. And then what we'll do is we have to remove the metal foil, the sealant seal on here. It's supposed to be a nice little tab on there, but it's not. Easiest thing to get off with my fingernails here. Oh, maybe that'll work. Come on. I always make it sound easier than it is. We'll clean it up later. Let's go get yourself a paper towel. We got some good old rawhide real man gloves here. Dakota. Gotta be good, right? Name like Dakota. And I'm not sure. Let's get a little bit more of that tin foil off of there. Don't want it in the bearings. And then screw the tumbler back in tight, and then they say back it off, get it in there tight, and then back it off quarter of a turn, and then let this rod, push the rod back in, and it's supposed to be all the way inserted. Let the air out, and then we'll tighten this right back up again. And then they say squeeze the handle a few times, and once the air is out, we should start seeing some grease coming out of this end here. Be a little bit of air coming out at first, I guess. Oh, what the heck is coming out the side there? Oh, I get it. That rod, the rod's supposed to go in there, and this cap's supposed to stay on there. Okay, take 5. My mistake. All right, some of you guys already knew this and laughing at me. So this actually goes inside there. That makes sense. Maybe take a closer look at it next time when I'm doing it. But it just made sense putting it on the end there. And then we're going to put that cap back on there that needed to stay there. And some of you already says, no, don't take that cap off. You're doing it all wrong. So let's get that screwed back in there where it belongs. Okay, now let's try that. Okay, it's not coming out any other orifices, so hopefully pretty soon we'll see. Oh, there we are. Okay, perfect. So there we are. We got a luber. It's gonna work. So let me set up over by the wheel here now. All right, all set up here. How can you tell this isn't my specialty of work either. Anyway, we're learning together here, and we'll put one glove on. I got a screwdriver here. Maybe we'll put them both on and get our He-Man working gloves all done up here. All right, let's see what we can find in here. Pull up our Lazy Man chair here. You know, I'm told that if you just pull that cap off just like that, there's a nipple right inside there that you can put the grease in and get some grease bearing in there. So I'll take a closer shot of that once I'm done here. So this is, pump that in there. 3, 4. And they say be careful that you don't work the grease out the back. I've got about 8 shots in there. Kind of hard to look around the backside. I'm just going to go get myself something to knee on and see if there's grease coming out of the back of the bearing. I'm told that can happen. Nope, nothing popping out of there. But I do see some grease coming back on the nut bearing right in there. So I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Maybe get it one more shot, just see what happens. Take a close bird's eye view here. So it kind of snaps on there. Okay, yeah, it's starting to come out that little port. Not a whole lot. And then you don't want to be jamming too much, and this whole thing will fill up with grease in there. So let's take a close-up shot if we can here. So you see that grease nipple right inside there, and if you get in really close, you can just see some of that grease coming back in. So I gave it about 10 shots, so it was probably pretty dry. And I'm glad I did this before I went down the highway with it. So let's just put the rubber gasket back in, and it just kind of snaps in there. Just like that, nice and easy. Perfect. There you go, just like that. Anybody can do this. Once you figure out how to put that gun together, works really well. Don't need a great big huge gun. And let's go set up on the other side and get that one done. Here we are getting wheel 2. And the same thing, let's just pop this rubber cap off. Yeah, it looks pretty dry in there. So glad that I had a look at this and before I started using it. And we'll just pop that right in there. We'll give it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'll pull that off. I'm just gonna get down on my knees there, kind of rather low to the ground for an old guy, and see if there's any grease coming out. Oh yeah, it's just starting to come out of the nut there as well, so I'm just gonna leave it at 8. I put about 10 in the other one, but I think that should do it. Keep our bearings well lubed up when we're going down the road. So many times you see these boat trailers, the wheels are turning around pretty fast. With the size of the wheel on the truck, these things have 2 or 3 times the revolution, so those bearings are really doing an overtime job. So you want to make sure they're well greased up, because you don't want to be losing a tire. I do have a spare up there, but I just soon not have to use it if I don't have to. So there we go. It was a pretty small little task doing that. It was more complicated putting that thing together, and we got that done. And now we're going to set up and see if we can get the trailer hitch moved down a little bit. So I'm just going to take this wheel off and get it out of the way so I can slide this back. And in the process of it, I ended up just nicking this inflator stem, the valve, and just bent it, and it's pretty dry, pretty brittle, and I actually cracked it, and I'm glad I was working with it because it didn't take a lot, and all the air that was in this tire came out. So good thing to work with that now and find out the issues with that, because I just bumped it a little bit with the wrench and broke the stem. And we'll get that in, get it fixed, and get her full of air so we actually have a spare. So I'm glad I did that now and not on the road somewhere. There's a lot of threads here to take this off. All right, doesn't look like I can slide this pipe, this tongue back quite as far as I thought, because there's only one extra hole. Either that or I'll have to drill another hole. Don't want to do that today, so we'll just try it for now, just to slide it back 1 foot. It's definitely not going to give me all the distance taken off of here that I wanted. I was hoping to go at least 2 or 3 feet. 3 feet where we're just... All right, my battery died and I didn't hear any beeping going on, so I'm not sure where it died, and we'll patch the two videos times together. So I moved this whole section forward 11 inches because it was going to move 11 inches back there from hole to hole, and the boat doesn't actually have to move. This whole neck just needs to move inside the slot back there. So now I'm just going to see how that's going to work, because I might have to jack up the trailer with a jack and try and move this, because I'm doing this single-handedly, and not sure how easy it'll slide in there, so wish me luck. Right, I tried wiggling the pipe back, but it wouldn't move anywhere. Seemed kind of rigid, so I had a quick look here, and there's another U-bolt underneath here that also has some issues here right now, because I'll have to disconnect the cabling. It comes through a hole where it needs to slide back, so I'm glad that it's pinned down with a bolt and I didn't slide it back, otherwise we'd have cut off all these wires. So now I've got to see about rerouting these wires through another hole here before we slide this thing back. Got to move up 11 inches, but I don't see any quick disconnects anywhere. I wonder. Wonder. So I can't slide that back because it's going to be really tight and just cut the wires right off. So I wonder if there's a connector up front somewhere that can come apart. And I would have to slide those cables back in again. I hate how they've done this. Well, it wasn't external to the pipe, so it'll be a little bit easier to slide it back and forth, because once you adjust your tongue on there, you're kind of set, because these wires are all sitting in here. Wow. Okay, well, we'll have to figure that out. A little bit more complicated than I thought. All right, moving the whole hitch assembly back was a no-show, and I didn't realize, but the wiring for the brake lights and stuff goes underneath there, and if I'd have moved it without seeing it at first, I would have cut it off. But in order to get it to work, I would have had to pull the cables all out and then plumb them all the way back through to the front here, tape them up, and use a pull wire, pull tape. And I didn't want to attempt doing that and then breaking a wire, having issues with lighting stuff, so I just put the bolts back in, put the assemblies back into the location that they were originally, and we'll leave it at that. I did want to shorten this up somewhat, because you could probably put a 14-16 foot boat on here. But anyway, we'll leave it as a 12. It'll just stick out in the water when we launch it a little deeper with a longer running hitch like that. So we'll leave it at that. Hey, thanks for watching, guys, and took me a little while to get it all apart and put it all back together. At least I know how it's bolted together now, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Smash the like button, do a subscribe on it, and next video we're gonna put a motor on the back and get this thing launched into the water. All right, you ready for that? Let's go boating. See you later.